This is absolutely an insane story. To back it up a little bit before playing for you the clip that you're watching here on screen and talking about what went on. You know how often the right wing wants to take the label of we are the pro-free speech ones. And often embedded in that is a little bit of a misunderstanding about the difference between governmental censorship versus a platform enforcing a terms of service, if it's a private platform, and all that we've gone through a bunch of times. Or they'll talk about how even the spirit of free speech is embodied by them, and they're against censorship, even if it's within a private company. And then you stumble across a story like this one, where a Newsmax host, Greg Kelly, the man seen on screen here, dares to lightly criticize one of Trump's picks, and all hell breaks loose. And I'll show you the video of the criticism. I'll talk about what the reaction at Newsmax was, and then a policy that's now been implemented because of it. But first, who is Greg Kelly? Here's an interview moment with him and Donald Trump to give you a sense of how nervous he gets when he has to ask even a slightly, not even oppositional question. While you watch this, please do click the subscribe button.
Is there such a thing as overconfidence? I mean, you've been right a lot, but nobody's right all the time. Is there such a thing as overconfidence? Are you, at this point, tough to advise? Or, I know you got great advisors, but did you learn some negative lessons by being right when they were wrong? And you might think, well, I'm always right. They must always be wrong.
Well, they do have a hat on, and I don't produce it. Somebody else. Trump was right about everything. I mean, if you look...
So if you watch this, I think the audio even distracts from it. As I talk, look at the way that he's sweating, licking his lips, and struggling to keep eye contact with Donald Trump. As he asks a question that's supposed to be a hard-hitting question, but is literally, can it be counterproductive for you to be right so much? That's journalism right there, if I've ever seen it. So that's who we're talking about. Also who we're talking about, just to familiarize yourself with the person, because then the story will make more sense. Here's Greg Kelly saying, putting "We the People" as a debate emblem at the presidential debate between Harris and Trump was a bad sign for how biased ABC was.
Am I on? All right, good. Problem about tonight already. First of all, this blue set is totally weird. It looks like a fish tank. I don't know what's going on, but how about this? We the people. We the people. Preamble of the Constitution, right? Well, okay. First of all, it's slanted. That's weird. But the other thing, we the people, some dumb New Yorker article came out about 5 years ago that said those are the most powerful words in the English language. The DNC took those three words, DNC 2020, and made it the theme of the convention.
We the people. We the people. We the people. We the people.
The purple chick from soccer. All your favorite liberals. We're on favorite liberals. We the people. We the people. And again, look at this again. We the people. I think it is a nod to the Democrats, huh? What else is new? Am I on?
Okay, wait, leave it up, Jane. This part.
Am I on?
Jane, am I on? I don't know how recording devices work anymore. Are we live? You can trim that out, you know. Okay, whatever. But that's not the important part. This is how MAGA we're talking about. So when we get to Trump's rage towards him, it's very discombobulating. We the people being as a part of a set that, if I'm not mistaken, has a bunch of different... It's supposed to look like the Constitution is the backdrop. So it would stand to reason that we the people would be in big letters, slanted very suspiciously, otherwise known as italics. And something Jane said in my ear while we were watching that clip. That must be a nod to the Democrats. Not because we love the Constitution, hoorah, let's put it as the backdrop, but instead because they used that as their DNC theme in 2020. Not even in this election, in 2020. Greg, that's concerning. Well, then Greg did this segment and Trump lost it. He was clearly watching. And you're going to see what happened to Greg Kelly in just a little bit. But first, here is his argument on Hegseth, first talking about Gates, then saying Hegseth is no Gates. And he's saying that in a positive way towards Gates, negative way towards Hegseth. And I agree, Hegseth is terrible, but they both are.
Damn. And not just viral moments. He does the hard work of investigation, of legislating. He didn't make it. He didn't even make it to the hearing. I know he's going to be okay, and so is MAGA. Pam Bondi was chosen, right? Pam Bondi, the former Attorney General of Florida. She is so ready for that job. She's going to be great. And so is Matt Gaetz, whatever he does. Did you see what his wife tweeted? The day he got had to withdraw unemployment, never looked so good. Look at him. He's like James Bond ordering a shaken not stirred martini, something or other. And that brings me to Pete Hegseth. You know what? This is MAGA. Are we going to be like China? Are we going to be like the Democrats? If you step out of line, ooh, they're going to hurt you so bad. They're going to primary you. They're going to audit you. They're going to. Pete Hegseth is no Matt Gaetz. He hasn't done nearly enough for MAGA to warrant the Department of Defense job. And he's got serious baggage. Serious baggage. It happens sometimes. Not every pick is perfect. Where do I get this stuff, by the way? Not from the fake news, but from this guy. Tim Parlatore is Hegseth's attorney, and he's been making all kinds of statements that I don't think are particularly helpful to Tim Hegseth, like confirming everything in the New York Times story, and it's...
Did he say Tim Hegseth? Greg.
Just, so he's putting out some information himself. And the email from the mom to Pete in 2018 made some people upset, right? Well, Steve Doocy read from it today, right in front of Pete Hegseth's mother.
I'm going to read part of it. You say, this is to Pete, during the 2018 divorce. You say, I have no respect for any man that belittles, lies, cheats, and sleeps around. And you go on and say, you are that man and have been for years. And as your mother, it pains me and embarrasses me to say that, but it is a sad, sad truth. You say, we still love you, but we are broken by your behavior and your lack of character.
That's intense stuff. His former employers, right? Reading it right there to the mother. And she was great. Let's hear what she has to say.
But Pete is a new person. He's redeemed, forgiven, changed. I think we all are after 7 years. He's a changed man, and I just hope people will get to know who Pete is today, especially our dear female senators, that you would listen to him, listen with your heart to the truth of Pete.
Really nice, right? But there are some problems here. Sorry, big time. According to Pete's lawyer, Pete is blackmailable. 2 years before that email was sent, Pete Hegseth was conferring with President Trump at Trump Tower about high-level political appointments, maybe even as Secretary of Veterans Affairs. He was at the Trump Tower. He had that conversation, and that's fine, right? But 2 years later, he is blackmailed by a woman who falsely accuses him, but he pays money to her anyway. Is he a new man? Anybody can be forgiven. I know that. I know that. If you ask for forgiveness, of course. Is Hunter Biden a new man?
Why? I don't know what this is transitioning into, but let's just stop it there. It's just... That was... Oh, I see the point. They don't think Hunter Biden's a new man after that number of years, so why would they say Pete Hegseth is automatically a new man after that number of years? That was a jump scare. Well, this led to not just MAGA backlash, not just Trump camp backlash, but Donald Trump backlash. Mediaite reports will result in termination Newsmax bans criticism of Pete Hegseth, of course, Trump's nominee for Secretary of Defense, after Trump fumed over host's attack. Now, Trump lost it so badly that Greg Kelly dared to go, I just think that maybe someone who has this many skeletons in the closet could be blackmailable. Or, I love how Greg Kelly's concerned is not that someone accused him of sexual assault. He wrongly claims that it's been debunked, but that could be used, things like that could be used to blackmail Hegseth. I think you should also be concerned that his character has been shown to be concerningly low in a lot of the reports that we've been getting. The sexual assault allegation, the reports about how he is in the workplace and his lack of self-control as it pertains to drinking in the workplace. And then one anecdote after another about his time overseeing and why he got pushed out of overseeing these veterans nonprofits. All of that is very concerning. But in MAGA world, censorship's perfectly fine if it's Trump doing the censoring. Newsmax instructed staff to lay off Pete Hegseth, the Fox News host Donald Trump nominated to serve as his Secretary of Defense, after a segment bashing the pick sparked the ire of Trump himself. It talks about the segment that we just watched and how the Trump team got in touch with Newsmax CEO Chris Ruddy to express the president-elect displeasure with the commentary, multiple sources told Mediaite. 3 sources said Trump also called Ruddy directly to complain about the segment, though Newsmax disputed this. In a statement, the network said that President Trump never called the CEO. Either way, word made it to Newsmax that Trump was furious. One insider said that the CEO was shook. I didn't know people use that word outside of Gen Z. I was shook after word came Trump was displeased. That sparked action at the network, sources say. On Friday, Newsmax Chief Operating Officer Elliot Jacobson convened staff at its New York headquarters to issue guidance in what one source described as an aggressive, panicked tone. This is just fascinating. Jacobson said that on-air coverage of Hegseth needed to focus on the positive. Any issues following this will result in termination. You will be fired if you speak negatively about the dear leader, and more specifically, the dear leader's pick. Does that sound like America? Or does that sound like something very different? Now, it is within this private company's ability to do that in terms of the right they have to do it. But as right-wingers often say, it's not just about governmental censorship. We're concerned with censorship of all kinds. And we have to advocate on behalf of the spirit of free speech. But even as it comes to the direct free speech infringement issue, which is when the government attempts to do it, they don't care about that when it's Trump either. So I know that's not actually true. So this doesn't surprise me that MAGA is not going to be upset with this type of Newsmax behavior, because Trump said the government should come down hard on MSNBC. He said CBS should be taken off the air, ABC should be taken off the air, all by the government because of their bad coverage of him. So when Trump gets upset about something, literally producers and executives at Newsmax have to intervene to keep the coverage like North Korean state propaganda TV or Russian state TV, all in alignment with the wishes of the dear leader. Frightening stuff going on at Newsmax. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Support the show. Get the members only bonus show by clicking that join button below.